Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Sir David Gascoigne.
He mauri ora. He hono he kororia he mau ngāro mo ki runga ki te mata o te whenua. He whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Aro haina ngā taina me ngā tuakana e noho nei i rui te whakaro te tahi pai mai.
Thank you everyone. Please take a seat. I ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā iwi o ngā hoe whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki a koutou. Nau mai haere mai rā ki te whare kawana. Kia ora tātou katoa. I specifically acknowledge our kuia, Rānui Ngārimu, our kaumātua, Joe Harawera, tēnā kōrua. And I offer a very special welcome to today's honours recipients. It's a real pleasure for me to host this investiture ceremony and bring together 10 honour recipients along with their family and friends to recognise the contributions they've made to our country. As Governor-General, I have the authority and the privilege on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold an investiture for her and to confer the honours, royal honours, our nation's highest honours, on individuals who've made exceptional contributions to their communities and to our nation. Hosting an investiture ceremony is one of the most important duties I perform as Governor-General because it enables me to recognise and thank them on behalf of all New Zealanders for helping to make Aotearoa New Zealand a better place to live. Some recipients have a national public profile. Others are well known in their particular communities. But what they all have in common is the positive impact they've had on the economic, cultural, social, or environmental welfare and well-being of our nation. Catriona McLeod will now read a citation for each recipient and invite them to come forward to receive their insignia. As each recipient comes forward, I invite you all to join me in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Thank you.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Richard Bedford of Auckland for services to governance. Professor Richard Bedford is a former academic who has served as President of the Royal Society Te Aparangi, formerly the Royal Society of New Zealand, for the last 4 years. His leadership oversaw the Society's name change and a revision of its Code of Professional Standards and Ethics to include all research epistemologies. He's developed and strengthened the bicultural commitments of the Society. He led a major program to improve diversity, and the awarding of medals and fellowships by the Society has nearly reached gender parity. He He played a major leadership role in the Society's 150th anniversary, including hosting a leadership symposium for national academics around the world. Professor Bedford has continued work as a peer reviewer of research for publication and served in advisory roles to government agencies. Professor Richard Bedford, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Steve Chew of Wellington, for services to rugby and sports administration. Steve Chew was Chief Executive of New Zealand Rugby, NZR, from 2008 until 2019, after serving as General Manager and Deputy Chief Executive. Under his leadership, NZR significantly improved its revenues, hosted the 2011 Rugby World Cup, and won the rights to host the 2021 Women's Rugby World Cup. As at 30th of June 2019, it held all 4 Rugby World Cups for men's and women's 15s and 7s teams. Mr. Chew has championed women's rugby and led NZR's Diversity and Inclusion Programme. He was appointed to the board of Rugby World Cup Incorporated and the World Rugby Council. Before joining the New Zealand Rugby Union, he was Secretary-General of the New Zealand Universities Sports Union, General Manager of the Hillary Commission, and Chief Executive of the Canterbury Rugby Football Union and the Crusaders. Mr. Steve Chew, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Jackie Edmund of Wellington, for services to sexual and reproductive health. Jackie Edmund has been Chief Executive of Family Planning New Zealand since 2006. She has tirelessly advocated for contraception and access to abortion care as essential services. She has led the New Zealand delegation to the United Nations International Conference on Population and Development for several years. She was chair of the Asia-Pacific Alliance, a group of organizations working in sexual and reproductive health. She was a board member and chair of the Hutt Valley Youth Health Service. Ms. Edmund is a registered nurse with more than 20 years clinical experience and has been a service manager at Canterbury District Health Board and in the mental health area. Ms. Jackie Edmund, please come forward. Dr. Janet Turnbull of Porirua for services to health. Dr. Janet Turnbull is a geriatrician and palliative care physician. She was the clinical leader of the ORA, Older Adult Rehabilitation and Allied Health Service at Capital and Coast District Health Board. She's worked within the DHB to remodel the geriatric service and create specialist services in movement disorders. She has helped to develop the community multidisciplinary motor neuron disease service. She was a member of the College of Adult Education Committee and an examiner for the college. She has provided specialist education in palliative care in neurodegenerative disease and provides support to the Mary Potter Hospice Community Service. Dr. Turnbull is a fellow of the Australasian College of Physicians. Dr. Janet Turnbull, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an honorary member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Angelica Edgley of Wellington for services to forensic science. Angelica Edgley worked as a forensic scientist for the Institute of Environmental Science and Research Limited, formerly part of the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, for approximately 33 years. She contributed her expertise to more than 1,100 criminal cases. She exhibited strong professionalism and diligence in ensuring that her work was up to the standard required for potential court cases, as well as in reviewing the work of other scientists. She participated in the training of detectives and other crime scene officers at the Royal New Zealand Police College. Ms. Edgley's contribution to the resolution of criminal investigations has been acknowledged by the Commissioner of Police. Ms. Angelica Edgley, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Ms. Jillian Bishop of Richmond for services to conservation. Jillian Bishop is the chairperson of the Tasman Environmental Trust, a community-led conservation organisation. She has been the driving force behind the Trust's development of a cluster of community planting and predator control projects, and the development of a significant community conservation hub that connects many volunteer-run conservation projects in the Nelson Tasman region. She has overseen the Trust's support for the successful development of Project Mohua to become an active representative body for Golden Bay Collaborative Community Conservation. Ms. Bishop provides leadership, to the Waimea Inlet Forum and the implementation of the Waimea Inlet Management Strategy. Ms. Jillian Bishop, please come forward. Dr. Dave Butler of Nelson for Services to Conservation. Dr. Dave Butler was the founding chairperson of the Brook Waimarama Sanctuary Charitable Trust, which was set up to restore a functioning ecosystem in Nelson's Brook catchment. It aims to control or eliminate pests from the sanctuary, reintroduce lost species, create an educational resource, and develop employment and training opportunities. Dr. Butler led the project to develop 135 kilometres of tracks and pest-proof fencing that encloses 700 hectares of land. The sanctuary is a key partner of the Nelson Biodiversity Strategy and reports to the Nelson Biodiversity Forum. Dr. Butler is a life member of the sanctuary. Dr. Dave Butler, please come forward. Mr. Toranga Parata of Hawera for Services to Māori Health and Youth. Toranga Parata was a trustee of Te Runanga o Ngāti Ranui Trust and helped develop Taranaki's first Māori-owned and operated GP service. He is a Department of Corrections youth mentor and part of the South Taranaki District Council's Iwi Liaison Committee. He provided youth home care services in Hawera, sat on the Police Advisory Board, and chaired Ngāti Ranui Kura Kaupapa and Taiporo Henui Monai. He provides karakia and blessings for the Department of Conservation and South Taranaki District Council. A former rugby player, Mr. Parata has been a Hawera Rugby Club and Taranaki Māori Rugby Team Committee member. Mr. Toranga Parata, please come forward. Mrs. Kushle Scrivens of Palmerston North for services to historical research and heritage preservation. Kushle Scrivens was the foundation editor of the Manawatu Journal of History. She is secretary and former treasurer of Historic Places Manawatu Horowhenua. She's organized field trips and compiled the Society's newsletter. She liaises with the planning staff of the 3 local councils on heritage policy issues. She has published academic articles and educational material and developed the Historic Places Manawatu Horowhenua website. She co-organized the National Conference of Historic Places Aotearoa in Palmerston North. She was a committee member of Te Manawa Museum Society. Mrs. Scrivens is a trustee of the Kachia Birch House Trust. Mrs. Kushle Scrivens, please come forward. Mr. Neil Taylor of Hawera for services to people with intellectual disabilities and the community. Neil Taylor is a director and former chairperson of IHC New Zealand. He's been a director of Accessible Properties Limited and president of IHC South Taranaki. His chartered accountancy company provides scholarships to Hawera High School students, and he has chaired the school's board. In the community, he's assisted with fundraising and volunteered advisory and mentoring services. He had a long involvement with the Hawera Repertory Society. He is a member of the Audit Committee of Te Korowai o Naruahine Trust. Mr. Taylor is a Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Australia and New Zealand. Mr. Neil Taylor, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture is concluded.
Our honours system is our nation's highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces values and behaviours that sustain our communities and help our nation thrive and prosper. And these include service, courage, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of knowledge and excellence. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by service to their communities or by their leadership in diverse fields, or their commitment to excellence in their own area of expertise. Our recipients have set a fine example to others. To the recipients, it's been a great pleasure to hear your stories today. You've demonstrated determination, compassion, and commitment in your daily lives. In your own way, each of you has helped make Aotearoa New Zealand a better place to live. In some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your work has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we've heard reflect the spirit of the words of another great New Zealander, Sir Paul Callaghan, when he said, "What greater sense of fulfilment can there be but to make a difference in the community in which you live? It's hard to make a difference in New York. Here, everything you contribute makes a visible difference." On behalf of all New Zealanders, I thank you for all you have done to make a difference in our communities and our nation, whether by dedicating your lives to the public good, achieving distinction in your chosen field, or inspiring others with your leadership. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your contributions are recognised and valued, and others are inspired by your example. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings almost to a close the official part of today's ceremony. But before we break for refreshments, may I ask you to stand and join me in singing our national anthem.